I shouldn't. I was going to say. We can.
Okay.
Recording there.
All right, we're starting recording. Which one? Oh, the one about, yeah. Is it Gabby? Is that her name?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it just started showing up, and I'm like, what's going on? I've been kind of doing some digging. It's going to make a great movie, unfortunately. That's the sad part. The Gabby Petito, I think I don't know how to say her last name.
Oh, the one I just found. Yeah.
Yeah. Sad story. It's a beautiful girl.
How about the Monica Lewinsky movies?
Like, my camera won't work.
It says it's live, and then it,
Are you organizer one?
How's it going? Good.
Pete is organizer one.
I am.
Okay.
You're muted.
You are unmuted.
Stop just.
Let me see here if I can record.
Get your prescription right now.
This conference will now be recorded.
Being recorded now.
Okay. Well, I'll just go, I guess. I don't have a video. Maybe it'll just pop on. Maybe we're just a little slow. Good evening. It is 6:30 p.m. on September 20th, 2021. This is an executive session of the City Council of Woodland before our regular meeting at 7 p.m. The council, everyone is present with the exception of Councilmember Plaza at this time. We will be going into executive session for approximately 15 minutes under RCW 42.30.110, Section 1, Subsection I, potential litigation. The time is now 6:31, and we'll be in session. All right. Oh, you ready, Mrs. Anderson?
I am.
Okay. All right, the time is now 7:01. It is Monday, September 20th, 2021. If I can get everyone to silence your computers that are watching from home and silence your cell phones for those that are in the gallery. And get everyone to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. What did you fall? Oh, I thought you fell. Ms. Anderson, you take the roll, please.
Councilmember Fredericks?
Here.
Councilmember Rounds?
Here.
Councilmember Chapman?
Here.
Councilmember Holland?
Present.
Councilmember Smith?
Here.
Councilmember Plaza? Councilmember Graham?
Here.
Mr. Plaza has called out this evening with a family issue.
Motion to excuse. Second. Councilmember Plaza?
Motion to excuse by Councilmember Smith, second by Councilmember Fredericks. Mrs. Anderson?
Councilmember Holland?
Aye.
Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Councilmember Rounds?
Aye.
Councilmember Graham?
Aye.
Councilmember Fredericks?
Aye.
Councilmember Chapman?
Aye.
All right, we have no presentations or proclamations this evening. Moving on to communications from citizens for items not on the agenda. I have no one signed up at this time. Is there anyone in the gallery that would like to step forward at this time?
Good evening. I'm Jennifer Ray Keene, the Executive Director of the Port of Woodland, and wanted to let the City Council members know that the Port of Woodland Commission will be holding a workshop on October 6th. There's actually going to be two of them, 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. to discuss the 426-acre industrial feasibility study. Not sure if that's the correct title.
I believe it's the Lewis River Valley Industrial Park.
Okay, so we're just going to call it the 426 acres that are across from my office.
Okay.
And so, as we've discussed about many times in the past, the commission is very interested about that project. We're looking at taking that developer role on that project, and so the commission has reached out to all of the property owners within that 426 acres. They have reviewed the study, and thank you to Tracy Coleman for providing that study to the port. We've been going through it and identifying the options that we have. The commission will be taking feedback from the property owners and looking to see if this is something that they want to adopt within their comprehensive scheme of harbor improvements. Any project that the port takes on that we expend port funds for, we have to identify it in that study. We have a general reference to it in our study, but this would actually identify the items that the commission may look at for financing, developing, and then, of course, those improvements would be the backbone to the industrial park and deeded back over to the city to maintain. So it's key that the port and the city work together on this project. Just because we put the capital investment on, the maintenance then falls onto the city. So we want to make sure everything's identified and constructed properly. So it will be a hybrid meeting. You can attend via the Zoom meeting. The agenda is actually right now on the Port website. If you look on our main page, you'll find it. It's the same Zoom link for the 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. There's no RSVP. You can come in person or via Zoom and just listen in. Gibbs and Olson, Rich Gushman is going to be doing a presentation, just very high level about the project, and that for the property owners and for the commission. So if you have any questions, please get a hold of me, but hopefully we'll have your participation as well as staff. Thank you.
Did you say 2 dates or just the one date?
It's just on one day.
Okay.
And the reason why we're doing it in October is we actually amend our comp plan, much like you guys, we try to do it once a year. We can do it as many times as a year we want, actually. But we do it during our budget process to look at projects for the next year. We do that at the November 18th meeting. So the commission wants to get the information, start chewing on it, and then decide. So hopefully there'd be some communication between the city and the port on what we would possibly take on. As you know, it's a pretty big apple.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Where was the meeting and what times were they?
October 6th at the port office or via Zoom, and it's 2 p.m. and 6 p.m.
Oh, that's where I got the, I was thinking there was 2 times, not 2 dates. Got it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, we just figured for property owners and businesses that they could both attend then. The information will be the same at both meetings, though.
Okay.
Okay?
Perfect. Thank you very much. Anyone else for items not on the agenda in the gallery this evening? Anyone online for items not on the agenda this evening? Seeing none, and just so everyone online knows, I can't get the camera to work this evening, so I'm not trying to ghost you. I just equipment's not working. Hopefully you can hear me.
As you check the little commenty thing, maybe?
I think they can. Mr. Ray, can you hear us? Can you send me a text message there on the chat, just so I know that you guys can hear us? Nope. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Joe. All right. Moving on to citizen communications for items on the agenda. I have no one signed up. Anyone in the gallery? Now's your opportunity to step forward.
We can hear you fine.
Oh, thank you. Seeing no one, anyone online for items on the agenda? All right, seeing none. I'll come to the portion to discuss the agenda.
Move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Frederick, seconded by Councilmember Rounds. Mrs. Anderson.
Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Councilmember Holland?
Aye.
Councilmember Rounds?
Aye.
Councilmember Fredericks?
Aye.
Councilmember Chapman?
Aye.
Councilmember Graham?
Aye.
The ayes have it. The agenda has been approved. Moving on to reports of City Council.
I'm
Mrs.
just
Holland.
going to say something. Thursday is Give More 24, so it's an online fundraising event, and pretty much every nonprofit in Woodland is participating. So if you go to givemore24.org, I think it is, givemore with the number 24.org, and type in your favorite Woodland nonprofit, and they're probably on there, and you can donate money. And it's a 24-hour fundraising event. So I don't know if anybody knew that, so I just thought I'd take the opportunity to
I've been
share
seeing it,
that.
I just didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else?
I just have a question.
Mr. Fredericks.
Question for Ms. Coleman. Do we have an update on when WashDOT is going to come out and do some arrow work over there by the, where the lanes turn into one?
They stated that it would be done this year,
Okay.
and it's on their schedule, but they have not given me an exact date as of yet. But it's probably going to be sooner rather than later, because pretty soon the roads are going to be too wet in order for them to be done. They'll follow up and get with them again to see if I can get a specific date. But as of last time I followed up, they didn't have a specific date,
Okay,
which is
just
probably about a month ago.
sometime this year.
That's what they shared with me in an email.
Awesome. Thank you, Ms. Coleman.
All right, seeing nothing else. Reports of standing committees, Finance Committee, Mr. Fredericks.
Yes, we met this evening. We reviewed the sales tax report for August 2021. Total sales tax of $238,400 decreased slightly by 1%, or roughly $1,300 when you compare it to the last month, July of 2021. But it increased by 22%, or $43,000 when compared to last year in August 2020. The top 20 businesses' sales tax increased by 17% in August 2021 when compared to last year. The majority of the sales tax, equating to 34% of the total top 20 businesses, comes from auto, RV dealers, department and large retail stores, and retail combined from the top 20 businesses comprises 35% of the total top 20. Sales tax revenue is strong in the city of Woodland. We also reviewed the finance reports. Both revenue and expenditures are in line and appear to be looking pretty good. And we're making some progress in our 301 General Reserve Fund, what I would like to refer to as the city's rainy day fund, to match what our financial policies and procedures state for the city. So we're getting close to that number, which is good. We may actually even be there already. And then we reviewed a leak adjustment for the Scandia Motel, and that we just reviewed it. It looks to be in order, and we adjourned at 5:48 p.m. and our next meeting is actually scheduled for October 18th, 2021, in the police meeting room.
Questions for Mr. Fredericks? Seeing none, Human Resources.
Well, Mr. Plaza's not here this evening, so I will report. We didn't have a lot going on. We started at a little bit before 6. We have advertised for Clerk 2 position. We're taking applications, and we're still looking for a police officer, and we're in negotiations with clerical and public works. So that's about it, and our next meeting will be Monday, October the 18th.
Questions for Mrs. Rounds? All right, seeing none. Mrs. Graham, Chamber Report.
And the Chamber and Visitor Center is still open 7 days a week from 9 to 4. We still have our luncheons every Tuesday at noon at Casa Tapatia. So please join us. Our annual meeting where we will be voting on new officers and board members. And I believe that is going to be held here that day. I do not know the particulars of what have been set up for lunch yet because I've been out of town, so I will know that tomorrow. So, we would like representatives from chamber members to come and vote for the new officers for 2022. And
When is that going to be, Janice?
On October the 5th. It's the first
Meeting in October.
meeting in October.
Okay.
And then on Thursday, the 23rd, is an after hours at Columbia Bank, and it is involved with the Laluska Foundation with the Give More 24, and that's from 5 to 7.
Is that online only?
Correct.
Okay.
It was moved online.
Oh, it was moved. Okay, well, see, there's new information that I am not quite aware of yet then on that situation. So do you have the particulars on that, or
It's on the chamber website.
is it now? Okay.
Yeah, Columbia Bank, as an organization, is not allowing events in the bank.
Okay. Alrighty, thank you. Jennifer is my secretary, so that's why she has the information. So, and that's all I know then.
Okay. Any questions for Mrs. Graham? All right, moving on to officer report. I spoke at Chamber on Tuesday. I thought it was very successful. Chief was there with me. Any complaints? Didn't hear any? Okay, good.
I'll need chips, I couldn't hear.
I'm sorry, I missed it.
No, it's fine. We covered a lot of ground in a short amount of time, so it was great to be there. I haven't been to Chamber for a while. And there was a nice turnout. I think I had just as many as the chief, if not one more.
I think less.
Oh, I think more too. Yeah, me too. Just show up to listen to me.
I was out hunting, otherwise I'd have been there.
Well, I think Mrs. Brown called in, so I actually had more people attend. Not that it's a competition.
Were questions asked, that's what I.
A lot of questions were asked.
Good.
A lot of questions were asked. And a lot of good information. I think a lot of good information that has been being talked about for the last few months was kind of given to them. And then questions about striping, especially for Columbia Bank, when it comes to pedestrian safety and those types of things. We were able to have those conversations, which was good. I'm attempting to set up some meetings with a few of the HOAs in town to discuss the ballot measures that are coming out. Hopefully I'll be able to do that by the end of the month when the ballots arrive. And then, other than that, I'm working on a few projects I'm not really to discuss at this time, but more to come. Oh, the park. We've been speaking with Sky Hill Park organizers, and we're having some discussions. They need some items signed through the state, so we'll be bringing those through the council at some point here shortly. We just weren't ready for that today. So within the next few meetings, we should have that to you. And that's all I have. Mr. Boyce.
Okay, Councilmember Holland asked for an update on the Minol contract negotiation. So myself and Tracy Coleman and Frank have been working on that. We had some delay because of all of the staffing changes in the clerk's office and whatnot. They've been willing to negotiate, and they've been open-minded. Director Coleman has been able to reduce the price of the contract a little bit, so that's good. Excuse me. What we're trying to do now is get more detail in the contract about exactly what their scope of service is. So anyone reading the contract will be able to understand what their responsibility is, what the city's is. This week we should hear back from Minol with that more detailed list, and then I think shortly after that, depending on if we're satisfied with that, we can come to council with that contract. Excuse me. With that said, the resolutions we passed last year had the bi-monthly billing going to October of this year. I don't think we're going to make that. We're hoping to have the transition happen by the end of the calendar year. That's what we're hoping for. So we will have to come back to council to modify that resolution. So be prepared for that. So any questions?
So did we get invoices? So it was August. So August, October, and December are the next invoices. So for water, sewer bills.
Right.
So are you saying then that we're on pace to meet the December deadline for the December billing, or is it going to be February of 2022?
It may be February of 2022. That's what we're shooting for, and it all depends on if we get that contract signed in time.
So you're going to be coming to us with a proposal to delay this until then?
Yes.
Okay.
Director Coleman, anything I forgot that you'd like to throw in there? No?
I appreciate you negotiating the price down. I like that.
Thank you for not negotiating it, the price up.
I negotiated the service up and the price down.
Excellent, good combination.
I mean, Tracy has been taking a lot of that on. She's been doing an incredible job.
Tracy's part of my team, I just want to make clear of that. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm part of Tracy's team. I think it goes that way probably. I'm part of
We're
Tracy's
all
team.
on the same team. And we all hit home runs out of the park.
Home runs all day long. Anything else, Mr. Boyce?
That's all I have.
Okay. Any other questions for Mr. Boyce at this time?
Oh, I have a question
Mrs. Holland?
about utility billing again. So what is the process, because I remember we had this conversation, but what is the process, let's say a senior citizen on a fixed income wanted to get their bill reduced? Because as far as I'm aware, we voted to do that where
Right.
they
So
could
the-
have their bill lowered. What would the process be if somebody wanted to?
There's an application to fill out for that.
Okay,
So you can find it online or by contacting the utility clerk.
okay, perfect. Thank you.
You bet.
All right.
Oh, Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
one other thing I wanted to point out. In the HR report, we talked about that clerk 2 position. So if you remember, we had a vacancy in the clerk 3 position in the clerk's office. We've changed the job description and made it into a clerk 2. We currently have a temporary employee in there, but we're looking for the permanent fix. So it's not an additional position, it's just replacing a vacancy.
Thank you for clarifying that. All right, moving on to consent items.
Move to approve the consent items.
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Chapman, seconded by Councilmember Rounds. Mrs. Anderson?
Councilmember Graham?
Aye.
Councilmember Rounds?
Aye.
Councilmember Holland?
Aye.
Councilmember Fredericks?
Aye.
Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Councilmember Chapman?
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Before we move to
Yes.
6. Are you Miss Gothorn? Did I say that correctly?
Oh, you weren't here last meeting.
I wasn't here last meeting?
Yes.
I
Really?
wasn't.
No, you were not.
Missed the meeting, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I had
We
5
this is
other things.
our new planning commission.
I just wanted to say thank you for
Member.
standing up and be willing to serve your community. So there's not a lot of folks who are willing to do that, and so I appreciate the fact that somebody who's willing to step up and do something that might be out of their comfort zone. I know it was when I first got on this body, it was out of my comfort zone, and still there are times when it's out of my comfort zone. So
You just
thank
make
you.
us all uncomfortable.
Sometimes I make them all uncomfortable. So thank you for stepping up to serve your community.
Thank you, Mr. Fredericks. Moving on to action items. Action item F, adopt ordinance number 1490 regarding business license fee, or business licenses, final reading.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Fredericks, second by Councilmember Chapman. Councilmember Fredericks.
I have no discussion. I think we've been talking about this for like 6 years now.
Councilmember
That's-
Chapman.
That's
Yeah,
not
I'm
a
glad we're putting it
joke.
to bed now.
Further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, Mrs. Anderson, will you please take the roll on action item F, ordinance number 1490, final reading.
Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Councilmember Rounds?
Aye.
Councilmember Graham?
Aye.
Councilmember Fredericks?
Aye.
Councilmember Holland?
Aye.
Councilmember Chapman?
Aye.
The ayes have it. And we've come to the portion for adjournment.
So moved.
You're welcome. Merry Christmas. Can I get a second?
Aye.
Second.
No, no. Moved by Councilmember Rounds, seconded by Councilmember Fredericks. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The time is 7.